We don't know, my dude, what can happen to make anybody fight their life in danger.
Well, you're trained. You're trained. You're trained.
Yeah, I get.
So being that you're trained and you're very knowledgeable when it comes to uh fighting and stuff, how easy is it to get hit in a certain place in your head or whatever, and for you to actually be seriously damaged?
It all depends. Some people got hit and they got hit. Some people got hit and they passed away. See, everybody they like to put these same rules and expectations on everybody, dude. Let me tell you something, man. There's people out there, bro, that every time they see the police, they're gonna get their life say leave.
Right.
Like, guess what? We're saying, "Oh, you doing too much," but dude, check this out. I'm not them. Mm-hmm. I'm not you. I can't tell you what makes your life feel like you're in danger, versus what makes me feel like I'm in danger.
Right.
We're totally different individuals, man. And that's just what it is. And at the same time, also, like they say, if you're trying to take somebody out, I'm hitting you more than one time.
Jay Prince, you got some more light in the room? Cut your cut your lamp on or something. You trying to be smooth.
I'm at work chilling. I'm at work chilling like
a shout out to Jay Prince joined us, man. Shout out to Jay Prince, man. Appreciate that, Jay Prince.
What's up, brother Captivity?
Appreciate you, man. What's up to you? And Jay Prince, I want to say, I seen you on Donovan Sharp show, and I think you did an excellent job. Give us your take, Jay Prince, on what you think about this, just from your opening statements with this Karmelo Anthony trial. Go ahead.
I think that he's not getting a fair trial. One, all of the jury's right, and out of 500 people, they pointed out 3 to 10 black folks that said some inappropriate stuff that like they couldn't. But what about the other 490 people? And if that's the case, out of those 500 people, why they didn't highlight the whites that was biased? Cool. But they trying to make this like a black thing out of the 10 people. You know what I'm saying? They trying to make that. Then I see they've been coercing the witnesses. That's why I told them on the.
Is that obvious to you? The coercion.
Bro, even the black ones, even the black people, the witnesses. Bro, I think, they remind me a lot of these butlers and mannies and stuff like that. And I think that's the big disadvantage that boy gonna have. And this is the type of stuff because black people trying to move divided in this thing and not realize that this gonna affect our whole race damn near. Not saying physically, but it's you know what I'm saying. But when white people move, they gonna come together, regardless of the fact. And this is why they made it where the jury is gonna be all white. They come together. They not trying to be all this.
The jury should have been all white. They should have
Jesus was right in the heart, bro. They on
the jury should have been all white.
This black boy for taking a white boy out.
Yeah.
And black people with all this love and trying to be honest and stuff, bro. This stuff don't have nothing to do with all this. I see they sit up here lying.
I know when you say all white jury, I know what you mean. It's technically not all white. They got specks of like. I think they got a couple of Asians. They got Middle Eastern. But even with you, I know how you think. You still think these people they still classify as white to you in your book.
They still classify white. Look at the Asian that deleted the black boy.
Yeah,
he got shot in the back, right? And guess what? He got off. The last time I checked, you can't shoot nobody in the back that's running from you. It wasn't like he was running and shooting back out. Mm-hmm. But this is what I'm saying. The system is gonna defend theirs, and Asians plays a big role in America, right? So it's all politics. But black people are so damn stupid. They so Jesus bottom, and they not trying to ride for their own, even in the wrong sometimes. Every race does it. They doing it for Austin right now. And I'm not saying that Karmelo Anthony is wrong because he did what he's supposed to. That boy ran up, he made it he shortened his distance up to get stabbed. It wasn't like Carmelo Anthony went up there and chasing him to stab him. If that was the case, he would have stabbed him multiple times. He only stabbed him one time, dropped the knife. He didn't even know the boy was dead. And I personally think if we're going to listen to anybody, including outside of the witnesses stuff, we should listen to Carmelo Anthony because he's the only one being honest. He admitted to committing the M.
If you're sitting in your car at a stoplight and somebody has road rage behind you and they get out of their car and approach your car in an aggressive way,
I'm shooting. Because especially they start bamming on my glass and
yes, if they start bamming on your glass,
out my car.
Yes, and they put their hands on you. If you hit them with a knife, if you stab them with a knife, do you think the courts ain't gonna look at that as self-defense?
It depends if you're a black man who took a white. There's no self-defense when it comes to black men or black boys deleting either white people or black women. The only time you got black men or black boys got self-defense on an M is when he defending the black woman or he defending the white man in the military or against one of each other. But outside, we the only people that we can take out is us. There ain't no self-defense when it comes to them other people that I just named.
Absolutely. I agree with you, Jay Prince. And let me ask you something. You mentioned the butlers and all that. Jay Prince, why is it so hard for certain black folk, and we know what kind I'm talking about. We know what we know.
And give a motherfucking house, nigga.
We know
yeah,
what
motherfucking house, nigga.
Yeah.
Everybody else don't want to be no motherfucking house nigga like you.
Why do you think it's so hard for them to really see it how we see it and to at least be critical, be more critical of what's going on in this trial? Like, even you called it, Jay Prince, you see the inconsistencies, you see the foul play that's going on. Why do you think it's so hard for these people, other black folk, to actually even be critical about what's really obviously going on?
Because those black people are used to seeing black people being dying in the hands of whites, right? Mm-hmm. So it kind of shocking to see whites dying in the hands of blacks. They don't want that. And then they benefit from whites. Most of these people got jobs, got careers and stuff, and they don't want to come off like they defending the black man or the black boy. And so they're going to think about their education, their finances before they try to think about some black empowerment shit. So if they want to prove to the white man that all of us don't think like them ninjas. Those are the black men who ran from the hood anyway. So they trying to get acquiesced to the system, and they will go above and beyond, even if that means sacrificing a few black boys, some black men who out the bell. But you can tell that this boy is a good boy. I ain't never known no thug that got an education, got A's and B's, 3-point grade average in football, and all this other type of stuff. He ain't sitting up there on the street selling dope.
But Jay, they calling him a thug. Bro, you know and I know he ain't no thug. No, he a good kid.
He was going to grow up to be a good butler. If it wasn't for sports, he wasn't no criminal type of dude.
Right. You know that.
Exactly. You can look at that boy, his whole life story don't scream thug.
That's a fact.
First off, he had his mom and his daddy. He been raised with his mom and his dad.
Yeah.
They prominent people, right? So he don't have that struggle. Because had he would have been a thug, he would have jabbed him more than one time.
I would just say, go ahead. I'll cut you off.
It just seems like those people is trying to victimize Austin, and I think they probably had a meeting. I think that school had a meeting before this court, and in court they was testing them. It's been a couple of people that come out saying that they lied. So they've been sitting up there and trying to make up the story. Karmelo Anthony is like everybody teamed up against him. Mm-hmm. And then it don't help that you got black teachers telling them. When I first heard that the black gym teacher said that he gave the white boy permission to chastise this boy or to manage the thing, bro. bro, I knew that was some bullshit. I think he want to keep his job. I just think that Karmelo Anthony don't got black folks to ride for him. And I hate to see this, bro.
I hate to see it too,
like,
bro.
It burns my soul.
Jay, if you was in trial and your life was on the line, you facing life in prison, and you know it's 4K video surveillance out there that tell the whole story, that could more than likely get you off and just be hands down prove your innocence. But the way they showing the tape is they're making sure it's blurry and all that. How would you feel in court, Jay Brand?
I would, bro. That means it's been constructed to be that way because they know what you gonna get out of a blurry tape.
Correct,
right?
correct.
And I guarantee you, when this stuff was happening, one of those kids got the actual video, but it's gonna make Austin look bad. It's gonna probably make his brother. I personally believe when you look up the stand your ground law in Texas, he should be getting on. The only person should be going to prison for that boy's death is his brother. Because stand in Texas, stand your ground law. If you're not provoking the situation, if you're not being somewhere that's illegal, and you're not committing a crime, right? And you're not committing a crime. He wasn't doing neither of that. Actually, Austin was committing a crime when they said, "Come on, let's go make this black boy move out the rain to embarrass him and make him just feel some type of way." And then they went over there assaulting. Assaulting is a crime. Correct. On this boy. And during the process, his brother died in the process of committing a crime. Had that would have been in reverse, people would have went to jail for that. If me and you went to do that same thing, one of us would have died, one of us would have been in prison for either one of our deaths while committing a crime.
What do you say to the people that heard you say that, what you just said, but they say, yeah, Austin, maybe he shouldn't have put his hands on him, but Karmelo was more wrong for whipping out a knife to defend himself. He shouldn't have defended himself with a knife, with being confronted with all of that. What do you say to those people?
I would tell them they could go to hell with gasoline draws. If that's the case, they need to lock up every white person that got away with shooting black people, including that Cyrus case. Because what it seems like to me, this is where I don't know why. How come they not bringing up Austin? How come you can hear me?
Yeah.
How come they're not bringing up Austin history as far as like, was this the type of kid that's a bully? Because it sounds like, based on pattern of behavior, he has a bullying spirit. Had he would have went over there, let's say the manager, the teacher did make him in charge. If you went over there and say, okay, you have to leave, you can't be here, and Karmelo Anthony didn't want to leave, instead of taking upon inserting himself as if he's a trained staff or a trained security guard, or and go get somebody that's actually trained to enforce the policy, he took it upon himself to go there and try to remove him. First off, you touched him, so that means you was actually being a dick, and so. Yes. And you kept pressing the lines. You came close. You violated his 3 feet of space to be able to get stabbed. Karmelo Anthony didn't start chasing him with no knife. He came close to that man. He was sitting down on that bleachers. That boy came close to that boy, and the boy warned him. And he should have been stabbed the first time you touched him. So he gave you warning. Now they trying to say he provoked him by saying, touch me, he's what's going to find out. No, I was always told that if that's the case, if Karmelo Anthony provoked the situation by making a statement saying, you touch me, I'm going to do this. Well, that means every man that went to prison for hitting a woman, that boy should have need to be released immediately.
And not sit there and touch you at all.
Because they told me, they told us that I don't care what a woman say or do, sticks and stones might break your bones, but words will never hurt. I don't care. You cannot provoke nobody you cannot provoke me to the point where I'm putting my hands on you. That means everybody that have went to prison behind that need to get released immediately based on case law.
So Jay, my brother JBK he called in on the show a couple of nights ago, and he brought up a good point, and I'm gonna bring it up to you because just like I can relate to what he said, I'm pretty sure you can relate to what he said. He said, Freezy, even in prison, you're not supposed to have a shank or a knife or nothing like that. But there have been inmates that have gotten off on stabbing another inmate because they tried to jump him or the inmate tried to attack this inmate. The inmate actually got charged with the shank. He got charged with the knife, but he ain't getting charged with the murder. Have you heard this before when incarceration and all that?
Yes, absolutely. Because when your life in danger, yes, you're not supposed to have. It's almost like being a felon with a gun. So if I'm a felon, and let's just say if somebody breaks my house or rob me and stuff, and I see a gun, I get the right to use it. Yeah, I might go to jail for not having no gun, but I got to still have the right to protect myself.
Yeah.
And they trying to take that away from them. I think they would have been more okay with Karmelo Anthony would have been dead and Austin would have been lived. They would have painted that picture and would have got that boy off, and Austin would have walked free with his death. This is what America is used to. It's bad enough, black man, you cannot take the life of a white man or anybody white, but let alone a child. They not looking at Karmelo Anthony like a kid playing sports. They looking at him like a grown ass nigga off 3rd Street off the east side. That's how they looking at him. And so they trying to paint this picture. I knew when I was hearing them people were saying what the witnesses was talking about, I knew for a fact that was illustrated like that. That wasn't real. That wasn't none of that. All of them is teaming up. That's what kids do, right? And I guarantee you, if they give all of them kids a lie detector test and they tell them, now you flunk this lie detector test, you can possibly face charges, do some prison time behind you lying. I guarantee you a lot of people gonna be coming out here and saying, okay, that's not what happened.
Austin Metcalf, pretty much they've painted him into like an American hero. He's not just a Texas hero no more. I think they made him into an American hero, this kid. And he's dead. Do you think that's right, exactly. Do you think that is another factor that's influencing the prosecution, the police department, and everybody to demonize Karmelo Anthony and to victimize Austin Metcalf and to also coach these kids into lying and coerce them into lying on the behalf of Austin Metcalf?
Yes, the optics look so. The optics looking like white people is very smart. They very intelligent. See, yeah, they wrote the rules up. They wrote the laws and rules, so they know the loopholes of these rules. And all of this stuff is a play, right? This is the reason why they hyper focus on the 3 women that said that I can't convict no black boy. You know, I'd rather talk to the people who didn't get chosen by the jury, because you know white people gonna narrate their own thing. It's all in the optics. The optics is we're gonna paint Karmelo Anthony like a thug, right? He came with a knife he wanted to delete this boy. They already saying he was a gangster and he was a very aggressive and all this other type of stuff. I said, how the man was aggressive? He said, nah, and motherfuckers them fucking with him. See, the problem is white people have this entitlement and that they can always tell people what to do, blacks what to do. You see it in our conversations. When white people show up, they always try to tell us what we don't know and what they should and what we should know based off their perspective. Bro, you walk in life, white people always gonna come and tell you, you breaking the rules, that's not the rules, you got the Karens. Right? The Karens always trying to tell you what go out all out their way. Citizen arrest and shit. Basically what that boy did was somewhat like a citizen detainment. He tried to detain Karmelo Anthony. Mm-hmm. And since Karmelo Anthony looked at him like a peer, like, no, who are you? I guarantee you.
Bro, I feel the same way, bro. Let's go back to high school. You're gonna let another student act like they finna move you and all that shit?
Hell no. And if that gym teacher instructed that boy to do that, he instigated a problem. He should have known that would have never worked out the way he thought it was going to work out. I will never, as a teacher, if I would have been a teacher, I would have never tell no kid to go try to chin check another kid, knowing that's going to start a problem.
Come on,
correct.
Come on,
I think that teacher made that up to protect the image of Austin, because they also protecting the brother. Because if that brother, if they literally came over there and been aggressive to them, the brother could possibly have charges. We committed a crime. They literally committed a crime and died in the process. So the brother need to be on trial and convicted.
Yeah, I agree.
I guarantee you, if me you would have did that to a white boy and I died, you went to prison for my death.
Oh, most definitely. But easy.
Correct.
And here's another thing, Jay Prince. I want you to speak on this too. They're trying to say this. They had nothing to do with race because it was two other black guys with Austin and his brother Hunter. It was two black guys with them too for Memorial that went to Memorial High School. And this is what I want to tell people. They saying they had nothing to do with race because it was two black guys that was with Austin during the event.
Mm-hmm.
Has anybody ever considered that those two black boys, they might be some young black homes? They might be some young house ninjas.
Right, or they probably be biracial. You know they call it biracial.
Yeah, exactly.
Right? I want to see these so-called black kids. And bro, like the way these young black folks is, it's easy for them to get. You know, they go all out their way to prove that they not on this black stuff, and they try to do what is right and all this other type of stuff. Whole time they will lie for them people, bro. You can't trust these black people, bro.
I agree with you.
I can listen to the story, bro, and you can just about tell what went down. That boy I can tell he sat on the beach because it was raining. The opposite team, which is Austin, come over there and said, let's move this boy, let's move him around. They thought it was funny, right? And so when they came up there and they wanted to see him get all soaked and wet so they can make a joke out of him, right? And so since Karmelo and Anthony said, man, I ain't finna go nowhere, man, I ain't finna go out there in the rain. You know what I'm saying? What you mean I got to leave? And they started getting overly aggressive. And he said, man, hey, look, they probably was arguing. And then all the rest of the boys was, all following all around them. And one thing that's not being mentioned in 2026, you go to fight one person, you're going to have to damn near fight everybody.
Correct.
Because it's a possibility you're going to get jumped. And so the boy touched him first. You can tell he didn't really want to fight because he would have stabbed him then. Right. And so it go from touch me and find out, and the boy touched him. So that means the boy is kind of being a bully. And so they'll say, you punch me, you move out the band. So he go to pushing on him. What comes after the push? You already violating his space. You already putting your hands on him.
Correct.
Eventually, he would have started swinging off on him. And they all would have jumped on, piled up on him.
They pushing me. So I'm just supposed to let them mollywop me before, and
And you tell that he just stabbed them. They keep saying the stabbing. The BING, the extra BING is a major factor in this case. So when they telling this story, they said Karmelo Anthony was stabbing Austin. No, he stabbed. That's a big difference. If Karmelo Anthony was doing this, that means he intentionally trying to delete that boy. But if he, in the process of getting mud from all of these people, and then it's intimidating to see all of these people who sit up there trying to tell you to move. Austin wasn't just the one that's putting his hands on him, but he got all of these other voices, and they so-called the witness, like they not finna protect themselves.
Correct.
The so-called witnesses is all sitting up there, get the fuck out of the and move out the band. So of course he got nervous and said,
I feel like his brother should be on trial too. But at the same time, his brother egged it on. His brother ain't do nothing to stop the situation. He egged it on, and then your brother ended up losing his life because you egged on the fight. You right now with your brother to stop the fight. You egged it on too, so you made the situation worse than it could be. So you gotta keep the responsibility for your brother losing his life too, because you egged the situation on. We could just told your brother, hey, dog, you gotta go back home. Just need to stop the situation, leave the situation alone. Ain't no point in letting him still say, let's go back home. Instead of him doing that, he egged it on, right along with his brother. And this was the outcome of it. His brother lost his life because of it.
Like you froze, Mark. But
this is why you don't let people tell our story and narrate the story. They trying to remove all of the stuff that's going to protect Karmelo Anthony. Go ahead, my bad.
Well, no, another thing, Jay Prince, is this. So, let me bring Jay Prince back. So, when it comes to the stabbing, I brought this up on my last live stream. So, this is just my theory, but it also matches up with the chain of events, right? With how Austin Metcalf grabbed Karmelo and leaned in. So they're saying none of the students said they actually seen the knife. They never seen Austin get stabbed. So just me using my damn common sense, which I don't know, a lot of these ninjas don't want to use their damn common sense. When Austin leaned in and grabbed it like this and tried to do that damn lineman move and lift his ass up and when he leaned in, that's when Karmelo had the knife. Karmelo didn't even have to do this. He had the knife pointed up like this, and the knife, when he leaned in, the knife hit him.
The knife hit him.
Yes. The knife hit him. That's what gave it enough force to actually go through his damn sternum like that.
And pierce it, exactly.
Yeah.
Because it don't sound like, bro, it don't even sound like he was really trying to jug this boy.
Exactly. And that's why they didn't see, that's why none of the students actually seen the stabbing, because it wasn't even a blatant stabbing. It wasn't no blatant stab.
So, and then, this is another thing that's not been told. So, he was charged with what? First degree murder, right?
Yeah.
Premeditated. So, if they would have charged him, he's not guilty of premeditated murder. He guilty, unless if they do try to find him guilty, it could have been manslaughter, right?
Mm-hmm.
But since they didn't charge him with that, you can't then charge him for something that he's not guilty of. Fair. So he could still get off because it wasn't premeditated. This is why they coercion all of these kids. They removed anybody black from the jury. Out of 600 people, they focused on 3 to 10 black folks that said they couldn't convict that boy. Okay, we got 500 some more people to go through. But they try to make it seem like people of color, bro, Mexicans, Asians, they damn near white too. And they got the same white beliefs towards black people. So, bro, I personally think that he got an appeal because he didn't have a jury of his peers. None of the people of that trial is black.
Most definitely. Shout out to Next Level in the building. What's going on, Next Level? I got Mark Perez task coach up here. Mark, what's your thoughts on this thing with Karmelo Anthony in the trial?
Actually, I don't even know if you can hear me correctly.
I hear you good. We hear you good.
Okay, good. Yeah, it was like freezing me up when I was coming in. So I appreciate you taking my call. You know what? This case here is very similar to the case that a lot of folks have mentioned, which was the Asian guy of the gas station chasing down the black young kid that they thought, that they assumed stole some bottles of water. And somehow he ended up with a gun. And even if he did end up having a gun, it brings me back to the Trayvon Martin case. At some point in time, we got to stop this bullshit. And we just got to call it what it is. Anytime that there's a African American and a Caucasian involved in a situation, the African American is always going to be wrong. The only person that has ever, in my recent memory, that has ever gotten away, one way being right or one way being wrong, is OJ. And he fucked that up even after he got away. Okay? He screwed that up even after he pulled off the whole baby. He screwed that up for the African American people. And so we got a stigma. We unfortunately, as black individuals, and me and my wife was having a conversation tonight, and she was telling me about this guy. You guys can get this name, something about Bob the Builder or whoever this guy is.
Sure.
Share the Builder, okay? And he runs around and he has these racist comments about black folk. And apparently he's involved in a case where he said some information or statements to a black individual that came out of court dealing with custody and whatever it was. You know what? We gotta stop being stupid. Because racism is alive and well in this country, and it is going to be here until this country no longer exists. Okay? Unfortunately, in the days that we live in today, everything that we fought for, everything that Martin Luther King fought for, did nothing but bury the racism, but it did not live the racism. I'm not saying that every white individual is racist. I'm not saying that every Asian person is racism. But when you get in a situation like this, let me back that up. I will say that there is a unfortunate black eye on African Americans when it comes to other races, especially Caucasians and Asian descent individuals that operate in the black community. And we really know that. So in this case right here, we can't expect that we're going to get justice, because justice in these communities is just us. And that doesn't include the African American. So we can't hold this trial. I keep hearing, this ain't gonna be about racism. This is not about racism. That's bullshit. It was all about racism. That's why we don't have any African Americans on this jury.
Yeah, that was crazy. Yeah, that was crazy. Let me do this.
I'm gonna jump off. Okay. I don't care how the DA, the prosecutor in this case, proceeds. The public have already decided that this is a racist case. And that's who they are marching to. You see it outside the courtroom. It's a racist case. Unfortunately, it's a racist case.
But now, I'm glad you said that. Like, here's how they
before you do that, J. Prince, let me read this couple right here. Karmelo Anthony needs to be exonerated by those cell phones. If Karmelo Anthony can be charged as an adult, liars should be charged as adults as well. Shout out to Alpha OJ for the $2 as well. that was found out before. Every day, school parking lot has utility knives. Shout out to you, Alpha OJ. Go ahead, Jay Prince. Go ahead.
And here's the thing: it is a whole racist case, but this is how this is how the white person using a chess piece. They is getting black people to go against Carmelo Anthony to say, well, y'all said this is a racist case, but these are black witnesses who found him saying that Carmelo Anthony was very aggressive. You get these black people, bro. And that's how I think they understood that the options look like this. Because you have white people on the news saying this is about race, right? Race plays a big factor. But now the witnesses that's witnessing against Carmelo Anthony is his own fellow black people.
That's crazy to me, bro.
Bro, that's
disgusting.
Jesus should be deaf, bro.
I agree with you, Jay.
We gotta Go
ahead, Mark. First
of all, we gotta understand, if we mentioned something like, I don't know, maybe 45 minutes or so ago, about these kids, because we're talking about kids are being the witness that's being put on the stand, right? Are they being coached? Absolutely. Every case in America, whether it's the prosecution or defense, you prep your witnesses to get on the stand. That's just a known fact, right? But we gotta also understand that these are kids that the same people that we say are able to drink, right? Because their mind aren't developed. They're not able to carry weapons, firearms, because their minds aren't developed yet. That have been put under pressure, not only from the authority of the police, in which whether you white, Asian, Hispanic, you're afraid of, because of that just is just a stigma of that authority, right? Mm-hmm. When we put these kids in rooms, and regardless of what they said, these adults know how to twist up exactly what they heard and twist it into the way that they wanted to be said. I'm hoping that the defense attorneys, when they get their chance to these witnesses, because these kids will break down. They will break down under pressure.
And you know what else they should do? They should get the videos of the interrogation when they first start interrogating these witnesses. Because I'm almost guaranteed their story gonna be totally different from when this shit first happened, when they had time to think of a lie.
I agree 1,000% with you.
Or if they do get slick, right? If they smart enough, they probably smart enough to ask each student what did they say in the interrogation room. Don't lie to us. You're not gonna get in trouble. And so, if certain students said some stuff that was incriminating, they probably like come up with new strategies with their attorneys and stuff like that on how to, because somebody said that one of the kids said that they heard something and basically was inaccurate. So they try to get him a pass, say, well, he's a kid. Right, so...
I agree with you. I think that when a witness comes in and gives a testimony, it should be recorded the same way that a suspected criminal is being recorded, whether they've been read their Miranda rights or not, it is being recorded. I believe that every witness that comes in, and especially in a situation like this, because some people are in shock. And you could put 5 people or 10 people that was right there in front of the incident, and you're going to get 15 different damn stories of what happened, right? So I do believe, how many people that we have seen being released from prison 20, 30 years later, from witnesses that say, well, it was hell and they found out that it wasn't him. Right? So it isn't always black and white. But unfortunately, in this country, I don't care what nobody says, in this country, we're black and white.
And then they got
it's black and white.
They have to prove this without reasonable doubt. So the doubt is those witnesses could have been his opposition. Those witnesses could be lying. So you can't just automatically take those witnesses' word for it because they are innocent white kids.
But the truth is that the jury actually doesn't get into that detail and think that way, because the judge says you can't do this and you can't think like, so throw your common sense out the window and listen to exactly what the hell you were told to do, and if you don't, then we'll kick you off the jury. So there's no mystery to the fact that there's no African Americans on the jury. We don't really know how this is going to play out, and if I'm wrong, then I stand to be wrong.
No, I agree with you. I want to ask y'all this. So I did do research just like Lakeisha Keisha did. Mike Howard is the lead defense attorney for Karmelo Anthony, white guy, right? She said Mike Howard has a perfect record. I just researched him. And also, because of his track record in Dallas courts, Howard has been named amongst the best criminal defense attorneys in Dallas. So I looked up Mike Howard last year. I knew the lawyer that Karmelo family got. He know what he's doing. He's an excellent defense attorney. I think he specializes in civil law and all that kind of stuff, right?
Right.
The felon wasn't a very good witness. And so, they ended up kind of getting impeached. And so, with that guy having that kind of background, if that's true,
yeah,
you're not going to put him on the stand,
how do you think
video is 100%.
I'm sorry?
Admissible. Right? Well, the video of the incident is 100% admissible of a crime, right? I mean, there's no challenging the video.
But if I give you a video, you're not going to just take that at face value. You're going to say, is this AI? Has this been edited? Has this been that? And
yeah, I do that.
That's where, the admissibility comes in. I think it was about a defense, the prosecution video, it may be edited or something like that. So that may be the issue. I'm not familiar with what the video shows or anything like that. So, but that could be the issue. Yeah.
What do you think about the witnesses?
I agree with 100% what he said. I agree with 100%. I'm freezing really quick, and then I got to jump off real quick.
Okay, go ahead.
I agree with 1,000% of what he just said, and that's what I said not too long ago. Right? If the video is legit and it shows what it shows, then I'm not understanding why the defense attorney can't get a hold to that video if 39 plus other people were able to see it. But if it's been edited, there are ways to see if a video has been edited. So I'm hoping that when they get the 4K TV, which they should have had it already for 4K video, that we get to see that video in its entirety, because there's no reason to believe that this brother
here's the thing. It was the property of Frisco School District. They have to show the video. They have to. That's a key piece of evidence.
That's what we believe, that the ethic of people is that they must, right? But unfortunately, there's cases where people have done unethical things. So I'm just saying, and nobody wants to. I'm not going to say nobody. A lot of people don't want to believe that exists. There was a girl, and I can't think of her name real quick, and it'll come into my mind in a moment, that was killed and put in a freezer. And you might know this case, okay? And to this day, no one in a hotel, and no one has been arrested yet. Jenkins, her last name is Jenkins, her first name won't come to me. okay? And me and my wife, we followed this case. Not only did we follow this case, we went out and protested about this case. And her mother received millions of dollars in a lawsuit or large sums of money, whatever the case may be. Karmelo Jenkins, okay, go look that case up, okay? She was put in the freezer in a major hotel.
Louisiana, right?
No, but Louisiana. I think it was Atlanta, but whatever it was, Karmelo Jenkins, okay?
Nope.
Brutally killed
Chicago.
and put in a freezer. And there's absolutely no reason why that case was never solved. I mean, no reason other than the fact that a lot of evidence was buried and some high level individuals were tied to that hotel that the information got buried. And so her case today is still unsolved. So, I mean, what we think is common sense sometimes is just not common sense. But in this particular case, one place, one time, one color.
Go ahead, John. You want to say something, John? You had your hand up?
No, I think Karmelo Jenkins, what happened to her? I don't remember what happened to her.
When she got found in the freezer, she got found in a walk-in freezer, and
But that wasn't racial. Was that racial?
Nah, I don't. That wasn't a racial situation, but she was with some. I think she was with some black guys or something in a room, in a hotel room or something.
She was in a party with a bunch of friends of hers, and my point to that was there was so much evidence that was buried and hidden because of the people who owned the hotel. It's a whole story. When you go through the whole story, then you understand why her case is unresolved today. So, in this case, if that video exists and if it never actually enters the court, because I don't think 39 people are going to lie about the same thing. Now, I haven't seen 39 people say it. I've seen 2 or 3. So what they saw on a video, if that video does not make it to the courtroom, even when they get a 4K TV, then we already know what we're dealing with. Period.
Well, let me ask you this question: Has his attorney mentioned this video?
Yes, his attorney was the one that got it played initially already, but the video is a 4K resolution, and the only device they had to play it on in court was a 1080p device. So that made the video grainy and blurry, and they had to have a video analyst come in to actually point out who was who. But the people that actually seen the video at Frisco School District before this trial even started, all the people that seen the video that signed off, they didn't need a video analyst to make out who was Karmelo Anthony or Austin Metcalf. It was in 4K at the school district. But in court, they weren't able to provide a 4K device to show the 4K video. So that's why it came out very grainy. They even tried to zoom in, which made it more grainy. You couldn't see the faces. You couldn't make out the faces of who was who or what was what or whatever. It was very blurry. So this is why Karmelo's defense requested from the judge if it's possible for them to actually revisit the video, the 4K video, but next time have a 4K device in court so they can show it properly. Yeah.
Yeah, because I was about to ask you, I'm not very familiar with all this stuff, so like what would be needed? What is a 4K? I don't know anything. I don't even know which question to ask about that.
So 4K has a lot to do with the resolution and the quality of the video and how clear it is. So the black guy that went viral that actually said he's seen the whole video, he's seen it in 4K. The woman I had, the guest that I had on my show today, she's seen the same video in 4K. The other 15 people, white and black, that seen the video, that have the same account of the video, they seen it in 4K, and they all have the same account. they all say that he actually got jumped. It wasn't just Austin Metcalf, right? And even when Carmelo Anthony actually tried to back off and get away from them, and then he got pulled back in. All of these people have the same account, and when he got pulled back in, they was actually fighting him. And Carmelo, when Austin Metcalf leaned in to grab him again, Karmelo, that's when he leaned into the knife and stabbed him, and that's when Karmelo was able to get away. But even when Karmelo got away, they ran after him. A mob of guys still ran after him, and even Austin Metcalf ran after him. That's how he got down to the bottom of the bleachers. That's how he made it down there and bled to death. Because he tried to run after Karmelo too, but he felt his chest, and he realized he was, stabbed. That's how he made it to the bottom of the bleachers.
I would imagine he would have gotten very far after the stab to his chest. He probably got a couple steps.
Well, people are trying to figure out how was the knife able to penetrate his sternum, because that's a difficult stab. It penetrated his sternum, right?
You have to go through a rib or something. You would have to go through a rib, I guess, right? I don't know anything about that.
Well, your sternum is your chest cavity, right? So the knife had bone fragments on it. It had blood and bone. Yes. It's reported that the knife had blood as well as bone fragments. So the knife penetrated his sternum. So my theory, this is my theory, when Austin leaned in that last time to grab him and remove him again, try to remove him, he had the knife upward, and the knife hit him like that when he leaned in. Right? So that's when Karmelo was able to get away that last time. But the point I'm trying to make is it's very important for them to show this video in all clarity, like for it to be super clear, because that is a key source of evidence, right? Video surveillance, you know this, John.
Yeah, I do.
Surveillance is very key, not only in court, but even in solving crimes with the police department. Surveillance is very key.
Right.
Here's the thing, and I don't know how closely you followed the testimony.
Yeah.
And I got a couple questions. I find this stuff interesting. I'm not taking a side because I don't know any of these people. But I keep coming back to who's going to testify as an eyewitness on behalf of Karmelo that is going to be because all the eyewitnesses more or less have been state with, and I don't think the jury is going to go against children, what young adults are saying. That's just going to be my thought. Unless they're just up there just with a reason to lie. I don't think they're just going to just throw out what the kids are saying. And those kids have testified for the state, all saying Karmelo was the aggressor, whatever words of course they were asking. Even the defense witness that was the eyewitness, the Eddie guy, he testified, he answered the prosecution that Karmelo caused the issue, or was the initial aggressor, whatever the word was. I can't remember exactly.
Did we put on a witness already? I didn't see that.
Yeah, the defense has put on 2 witnesses. And what's interesting here, the first witness was not an eyewitness. So at first, the person who testified was not an eyewitness. It was like a coach. So that person, he might when they testify, let you throw yourself at the mercy of the court. The second witness, at best, it was a wash. But he admitted that Karmelo was like the aggressor or something to that effect. So there's 2 witnesses down. Who else is going to get to the self-defense of the matter? That's really all that matters. The tents, raining, whatever, none of that matters. Did he have the right to do what he did? And there's going to have to be a witness, or he's going to have to testify. And I don't see him testifying.
I'm confused. Somebody tell, maybe it's me. Maybe I've been working too long. So the prosecutor typically puts on all of their witnesses first. The defense has the right to cross-examine those witnesses, and then the defense has the opportunity now to put on their side, which I don't believe is starting yet. Am I missing it or am I wrong?
started today.
What's your take today?
It started today. The defense started their case today.
Yeah, so prosecution, the prosecution rested today, right? So to John's point, I understand what he's saying about the kids, and I'm pretty sure the defense have been very careful about how they question it, those kids on the stand, because the prosecution could be criticized by how harshly they question these kids, right? So you got to be delicate with these kids. But what do you think about the inconsistencies that were found with these witnesses, these kid witnesses, John Go? There have been the defense have been able to point out inconsistencies and lies. What do you think about that, John?
Well, I think if they were too consistent, as you were saying yesterday, you'd be thinking that they were coached. They're just all in sync with each other. But by the fact that they're not like all in sync with each other, they don't seem to be coached. That's just one way of looking at it. If they're not all like parroting the same line, then and some of the
you say they don't seem to be coached.
Well, I'm saying if they're not in sync, perfectly in sync, then they haven't been coached. Because the defense would not have them get up there saying some things that would be beneficial to the defense. So the prosecution will do that. So a little inconsistency here and there probably is normal in a court case. You talking about a year from now, a year from ago, that may be normal. The meat of the matter shouldn't change, but I remember it was a red jacket or a blue jacket. Did he say F you or the little things can change, I think.
I believe that the kids can be teenagers can be coached. The ones that know what happened, that was in the school, that know what happened, and if they're not telling the truth, they could have been coached to lie.
And that's what I'm saying.
And not tell the whole damn country for what happened, and they seen exactly what happened.
If you just really pay attention to how they, handled the case. From beginning to end, they started off saying, we're trying our best to damage mitigation. We want to see the jurors that won't give him a lot of time. That is almost like an indication that they don't think they can win the case.
Right. So let me say this. The students said that Hunter Metcalf wasn't with Austin. But by Hunter's own account, he said he was with Austin. I don't see how people can see this, just overlooking this. To me, it seems like people are just having slow moments watching this case. But Hunter already said initially last year during an interview that he was with Austin. Not only was he with Austin, he initially made the first communication with Karmelo Anthony.
There's no
and he said he was close enough to see Austin Metcalf grab Karmelo Anthony's bag, which hasn't even came up yet in court.
But he hasn't
Hunter said that. Hunter said that twice.
He hasn't testified, and he probably will not.
He's not going to testify. I think they said I don't think he's. Shout out to House of Hypocrites. Hunter not testifying is very interesting. The person side by side with his brother doesn't testify. Come on, bro.
Well, actually,
Hunter the brother, right?
Hold on, before you go, Mark. Go ahead. You finish your point, John. I want Gary G to go. Go ahead.
I was just playing a clip on my channel where a lawyer was analyzing the case, and he says Hunter will likely testify when the government does his rebuttal. He'll probably be the last witness to testify, as an emotional witness, which would be pretty effective considering it's his twin brother. Yeah. And so again, how would the defense question this boy who would likely be crying on the scene, his brother?
He's a key witness.
But you're gonna have to tell him.
What are you talking about?
The key witness. I don't know if he's the key witness, and you don't want to take your chance alienating the jury by being rude with the
what the hell is he talking about?
I don't know if it's worth. I don't know if it's worth.
He didn't have no jury to his peers to begin with. The jury was all white. Wasn't no black people in the jury at all.
It's not unheard of for a family of a slain person to testify. That's not unheard of, right, John?
But I think in a self-defense case, again, like the only one that can explain to us how, or to the jury, how he was feeling is him. There are no witnesses giving him that overriding like Zimmerman had. That overriding, I had the right to do what I did because somebody got on the stand and said it for me, and I had the injuries to prove. The only
okay. So let me say this. Gary G, are you there, Gary?
Yeah.
I need you to come on camera, Gary. Gary, what's your thoughts? What's your thoughts on this trial and how it's going, and what the witnesses' statements on the stand? What do you think about what's going on, Gary?
Basically, you can tell.
You're on the camera.
Hold on. Look, I've been watching the whole. You guys see me?
Yeah, you can. Yes, we see you, bro.
Look, I've been watching the whole thing front to back, and I've been watching the creators talk about it, and it seems that everybody just want to pick the little facts that they want to believe. You know what I'm saying? Ain't nobody taking the whole story into account.
I like it.
It's everybody talking about these witnesses. How are they so believable when all these people is friends of these boys playing? You know, they play on their team.
Well, you know what's interesting?
Well, let him finish his point, John. Go ahead, Gary.
Sorry.
They say these witnesses are so good witnesses, but you can if you listening closely, each one of them is saying little bits and stuff that ain't true. I've heard multiple lie about different little parts about Hunter, about Austin. You can ask some blatant questions, and if they don't want to answer the question right, or they want to be right about something, you know.
Keep your camera steady. It's kind of.
I got you. So people saying that these witnesses ain't coached, but it's funny that when they up there testifying, they all got the same 3 lines about Karmelo said, "Touch me and see what happens." He touched me and see what happens, and that's it. It wasn't self-defense. It's kind of funny when you asked him about who's the initial aggressor, and so listen to this. Everybody's saying Austin's supposed to be a good guy and stuff, but if somebody tells you to don't put your hands on somebody, and that person gonna put their hands on you, and then someone says don't hit me, and that person come and hit me, ain't that a bully?
Let me ask you this question: do you think the witnesses that have testified so far are lying?
I think that they're not telling the whole truth. Would you get up there and make your buddy who his brother died look a little bit better? Would you try to say things to make the person that killed your friend's buddy look a little worse?
So let me ask you this question: do you think they should be prosecuted for lying on their oath?
I mean, that's the job of the lawyer. He need to get up there and he should be having notes ready and be breaking down.
That's the job of the prosecutor. So if
the prosecutor, the defense needs to go up there and he needs to have notes about all them witnesses that came up here yesterday or earlier today, and he need to break all of them down about all these little different lies that they was telling. That's what they need to be doing.
But didn't he have an opportunity to do that during cross-examination? That's when you get a chance. That's when you get a chance to impeach the witness during cross-examination. He didn't really. They weren't really able to impeach the eyewitnesses. They weren't able to see what you thought you saw. They didn't.
Sure. I mean, when you're going up there second, you're kind of on a listen basis and then kind of reacting. Well, when you get up there and you're, number one player, you got more leeway you got your questions ready. You should be able to, score big
well, let me do this. Let me show y'all this. So right here, right, let me take the name tags off. And shout out to House of Hypocrites that joined us. Right here, Edwin Para is the student that Karmelo Anthony greeted under the tent. That's how he even got up under the tent, because he's seen Edwin Para. That's Carmelo's girlfriend's brother's friend or something like that, whatever, that goes to memorial. It says Para said he didn't notice Anthony when he first joined his team under the tent on April 2nd, 2025. Right? But told the jury Anthony got everyone's attention when he suddenly inserted himself into a conversation about the school's football team, quote unquote, y'all are ass. He recalled Anthony saying of the players. So let me go down a little bit and let me show y'all what he said. What the defense attorney caught Edwin Para up in a lie, right? So right here it says, let me highlight this for y'all. Toby Shook, defense attorney Toby Shook challenged Para's characterization of his relationship with Anthony, presenting a series of photographs, text messages, and social interactions that suggested the two teenagers had spent significantly more time together than what Para described. Toby Shook highlighted numerous occasions where Anthony appeared in pictures with Edwin Para and his family, largely during parties at Para's house. Now remember, Para said he didn't even know who Anthony was when he came up under the tent.
Yeah, not a lie.
So the defense attorney showed Para pictures of him hanging with Anthony with his family, largely during parties at Para's house. One photo showed Para and Anthony posed together on a couch. Another featured Para playing with the guitar. Another featured Anthony playing with the guitar in Para's bedroom. So the defense attorney Shook said, "You're still telling this jury you didn't know Karmelo Anthony well?" Edwin Para said, "Not personally." And then he asked whether it would have made sense for Karmelo Anthony to greet him at a track meet. Para responded, "I mean, we were cool with each other." Shook then had Para acknowledge he saw Anthony at another track event about 10 days before the stabbing and showed the jury a photograph depicting the two sitting next to each other on a field. So I just wanted to show that right here, Edwin Para, the guy that Karmelo Anthony actually greeted. That's how he ended up at Memorial High School's tent. He seen somebody he knew, Edwin Para, and there are witnesses that say he actually dapped up. I'm talking about Memorial High School students that witnessed him dap up Edwin Para. Edwin Para made it seem like he didn't even know Anthony, and he didn't notice him until he screamed out something about their football team. The defense attorney caught Edwin Para in a lie. Come on, man.
Yeah. The only thing that really matters here was, did Karmelo have the right to stab him or not? And Edward, the Para guy, said that Karmelo initiated or was the aggressor.
But you got to think about this, John. Yeah, but hold on, House. I'm gonna let you go next, House. You just skipped all over that Edwin Para lied. That's what I'm saying. I don't know why y'all do that.
Okay, well,
you want to go straight? Hold on, John. Okay, you want to go straight to the knife? We haven't seen the video. There's plenty of evidence.